Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Maximizing Your Certification webinar. My name is Catherine Macon. I am the Marketing and Communications Manager here at WBENC ORV. Today we have special guest, Kathy Lindeman, President of Evolution Creative Solutions, based here in Cincinnati. So before we get started, we just want to go around and see who we all have on the call. If you feel comfortable, you're more than welcome to come off camera and do your introduction, or come off mute and do your introduction, or you can always drop it in the chat. So you all know a little bit about me, and whoever would like to get started, just jump in at any time. Like to know about you, your business, and where you're located. Don't be shy.
Don't need to be shy.
Yeah, we're all friends here.
All right, I'll go. My name's Megan November. I am the president and owner of Rust Belt Reclamation. We are a custom furniture manufacturer based in Cleveland, Ohio.
Awesome. Welcome, Megan. Thanks for joining us.
Megan, how long have you been certified?
We were certified in December of last year.
Okay.
Like we have one in the chat as well. Kim Shoemaker, CEO of, help me with this, Aklochi, headquartered in Columbus, Ohio. Welcome, Kim. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. My camera's not working very well. It's Aclache. We're a workforce solutions company that's based around Central Ohio, but our headquarters is in Columbus, Ohio. Thank you.
And how long have you been certified?
A very, very long time. I want to say like 2004, maybe like 10 years.
Okay. 2004, that's 20 years. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I guess it is. Did my math correctly today?
When you're having fun.
Right. Yeah, we've been certified for quite a long time. I'm actually kind of considering the WOSB, but I'm just trying to figure out a little bit more about it.
It looks like we have another intro. Kayla. Hi, Kayla. She works with VBH Consulting in Lexington, Kentucky, and she's here on behalf of the owner and CEO to learn more. Thank you for joining us, Kayla. Lexington is a great place. I went to UK, so it's like a second home to me. So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, do we have a new basketball coach yet?
Not yet.
Call on Facebook. Scott Drew's coming. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. That's right, Kayla. Go WBEN.
That's right. Anyone else like to do a brief introduction before we get started? If not, feel free to just drop your info in the chat at any moment while we're going, and we will get to it. But I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, and we can get our presentation started.
Hey, there's me a lot of times, people.
And can everyone see my screen?
I can.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get started with our presentation. As I stated earlier, this is our Maximizing Your WBE certification. We have Kathy Lindeman, President of Evolution Creative Solutions, and Kathy is a bold and creative problem solver. She uses both of her talents to help Evolution's clients discover exciting ways to think differently about their businesses and brands. Kathy is a dedicated, loyal enthusiast of the greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky region, and she cares deeply about being an active part of the business community. She's a proud member of the Cincinnati Chamber and a board advisor for the Urban League of Greater Cincinnati. Under her leadership, Evolution Creative Solutions received the honor of being named WBENC ORV's WBE Supplier of the Year twice and is a multi-year recipient of Graphic Design Awards from Graphic Design USA and Print Awards from Printers Industry of Northern Kentucky and Ohio. So we are very happy to have Kathy here. She's deeply involved with ORV, and we're very grateful to have her in our network. A little bit about what we'll cover today. We're going to go over some foundational knowledge which includes some background about the organization, the value proposition, supplier diversity advantages, and the role of supplier diversity professionals. We're also going to touch on the maximizing part of your certification, because that's why you all are here today. And that will include the benefits of certification, how to best incorporate the seal into your branding, prospecting in the WBENC community, and how to participate in your RPO, and of course, on the national level. So moving right along with our foundational knowledge, WBENC was created in 1997, and it serves as the leading national third-party certifier for women business enterprises. There are 14 RPOs, which stands for Regional Partner Organization, across the country. WBENC ORV is one of 14. As you see on the map, that's where all of them are located. Once you're certified, you are not restricted to just your region, though. Feel free to look at any of the other 14 RPO websites, participate in their events, and if you would like to travel and connect with them in person, by all means, you can do that. You're not restricted to just one RPO that you're in. So more about WBENC ORV. As I stated earlier, we're one of 14 RPOs. We were previously operated under the Urban League of Greater Southwestern Ohio for about 14 years. And in that time, we were housed under the Business Development and Entrepreneurship Division of the Urban League. We have since split from the Urban League. That was effective of January of this year, and WBENC ORV became our own standalone 501(c). So we're excited about that. Very grateful to the Urban League for that partnership. And even though we're not housed under them anymore, we still have that partnership there. So we're able to connect you all with resources such as the Small Business Association and the Economic Empowerment Center that they do still have on that team. So a lot of benefits of having that relationship. And part of WBENC ORV, obviously our main goal, certification. We're here to certify women business enterprises. But taking it a step further, once you have that certification, we also provide business development opportunities and training opportunities. We let you all know about the bids that our corporate members have, kind of giving you first insight on when those bids are available, helping you prepare for those bids, and helping you succeed once you do obtain those bids. Also, we have networking opportunities as well as matchmaking opportunities with our corporates. WBENC ORV has grown tremendously over the last 15 years now. Now we have nearly 1,100 certified WBEs, and we have over 75 corporate members in our network. And for context, when we started 15 years ago, we had about 300, little over 300 WBEs and like 7 corporate members. So a lot of growth really fast. So federal mandate for companies doing business with the federal government, they actually have to procure 5% of goods and services from women and minorities. And believe it or not, they rarely, if ever, hit that number. So it's mandated, but they're not hitting it for whatever reason. And we are here to help be that bridge between the women businesses and those federal governments and the corporates as well. So corporations, they have set up supplier diversity programs in response to that. And we are here as a partner to help with those programs. The business model has evolved as corporations purchase goods and services from women. Women make up 80% of the consumer decisions and influence the other 20%. Also, many corporations, government entities, and nonprofit organizations have established these inclusion goals as well. So you might not be wanting to work with a P&G or a GE, but you might want to work with the city of Cincinnati or the state of Ohio, or some other large nonprofits. And again, we're here to be that bridge. As a WBE, you have an advocate and a supplier diversity professional. Corporations, they can make exceptions for certified WBEs, such as create vendor opportunities in closed community categories. They can carve off a piece of a major contract for qualified WBEs, offer a mentor protege type of program, establish vendor financing mechanisms. And as WBENC and the network of certified WBEs grow, that number of corporations with supplier diversity programs will grow as well, which means more opportunities for women business owners in our network. So being an advocate between the company and the certified WBE is what we're really here for. We advocate on you all's behalf, but we also advocate for our supplier diversity professionals as well, because that's a difficult position to be in. When you have all these contracts that you need filled, we're here to help them as much as we're here to help you all too. The vendor registration process is very important for you to get these contracts. So if you haven't already, I suggest targeting the companies that you would like to do work with. Almost all of them have supplier diversity portals that you have to be registered in. So register yourself in there so you automatically can get information on when their bids are available. Also, there are purchasing timelines, purchasing processes that will be outlined there as well. Invitation only corporate events for supplier diversity professionals. And then you can be referred to other corporations by having that advocate from us, but also with that supplier diversity professional. Having that relationship, they'll think of you top of mind when other opportunities become available within their company and within their colleagues' companies. Some important points to remember. I'm not going to go through all of the bullet points, but I will do a high level. Number one, it's very important to remember that the supplier diversity professionals are not the ones making the sourcing decisions. You should have that relationship with them if possible, but they're not the ones saying yes or no. They can help influence things, but at the end of the day, it's not always on them. So please keep that in mind. Also know their business and their market before you reach out to try and build a relationship there. And then lastly, we always say, don't have a what's in it for me mentality, but really focus on building an authentic relationship with that professional and figure out what needs that they have, what problems they have, and how your services can really be of benefit to that. It might be a long game situation. You might have to build a rapport over some time. It might be a quick turnaround. You never know, but having that authentic relationship is going to be important either way. And now I'm going to hand it off to our special guest, Kathy, and she can give you an overview about maximizing your certification and how she's been able to maximize her certification through WBENC. Also want to add, if you all have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat or come off mute and we will get to your questions. All right, Kathy.
Thanks, Catherine, and thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for coming on board for the meeting. Definitely, I would prefer to have a conversation rather than just talk one way. So feel free to ask questions along the way. So I've been certified since 2012. So I have 12 years of experience, and so I'm going to kind of highlight the ways that I've done it. In terms of my marketing tool, I use the logo on all of my printed needs as well as my digital platforms. So it's on my website and along those ways. Anytime that I'm registering through a portal or anytime that I'm doing an RFP, even if it's not one that I found through WBENC, I still let them know that I'm a diverse supplier. So I say put it out there more often than not. And if any of you create a product that lands on a shelf, they also have a special logo that you can put on your shelf so that if people are buying your product, you can do it there. They have a great database. WBENC Link, they do a session on that as well. You can go out and search and find what you need. Catherine, am I coming through? I keep getting a low network connection sign.
It's a bit spotty. You're in and out.
So we do have a directory of the corporate contact. Okay. I'm at an offsite location, so I'm doing the best I can. They do have a directory of all the corporate contacts through WBENC Link. So I use that quite a bit when I'm going after a certain target audience. So when we were going after construction, I would go out and find out who the corporate contacts were for the various construction contacts. And then I would figure out where they were going to be. And then networking, we do tons of programming locally, regionally, and nationally. Mostly the regional is my favorite. The Catch the Wave that's in August is my favorite. There's about 500 people that attend. And so it's intimate enough that you get to know a lot of other women-owned businesses, but the corporates are not inundated with thousands of people. And so I actually attend regional conferences across the country. So I didn't go to the national program. I actually go to regional programs because there tends to be a smaller number of people and I have more face-to-face with the corporates. So you can check out those. And the national event just happened in Denver. Next year, it is in New Orleans. And so my suggestion with the national event, it's best to go have your list of corporates that you want to see and focus on getting in front of those specific corporates. It can be overwhelming if you don't have your homework done. And then you gain recognition and award opportunities through engagement. So as they said, I've been the diverse supplier of the year twice. And they also just recognize anything that you do for success in their newsletter that Catherine puts out. And then gain access to business development and training opportunities. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. And then you receive communications about bid opportunities as well. I'm going to talk about some of that later as well. As always, a support network. I don't know if you feel the same as me, but lots of times it's lonely at the top. And so I talk to my other girlfriends, my peeps, when I need a pick-me-up. So you can print, as I said, your seal on your business cards, your brochures, the signature line on your email, your social media. You can do it on your website and do it the more the merrier. Always putting it out there. You never know who's going to see your seal. So you want to make sure that it's part of your brand identity. Go ahead, Catherine. And then also, as I said, this one's super excited. I do go in and try to find things that have the women-owned seal on it. So if you have a retail product that you can use the women-owned logo on your product, and it was created to raise awareness of the women-owned products that are on the shelf. So people wanted to pick out things that were sustainable. They did research and found that people wanted to support other women. And so they came up with the logo so you can put it on your label or your box. And then you also get added to the women-owned directory or feature in the blogs. And I have to say, I follow different newsletters that come out that feature women-owned products. And then I go out and buy those products. So if you have a retail product, most certainly you want to put that out there and also get onto the websites that recognize that as well. You can always download it at WBENC. So WBENC Link 2.0, you can go out and find anything that you need. So if you need a certain NACE code, you can find your corporate and supplier diverse contacts nationally. As Catherine said, it's not just here locally. So we have 75 corporates local, but you can actually contact anyone across the country. So if you're looking for somebody in California, you can still get their contact. And then you can also do Weebies. So what we've found is corporates want to have as few vendors as possible. So they prefer you to partner with other Weebies so that you can be one. And so I go out and I find other Weebies across the country that can do the same thing as me or partner with me. And then we go in together to a corporate. And so I'm always out looking for people that can do something for me across the country or here locally that I can join forces with. And then the biggest thing is you have to make sure your profile is complete. Once a year, I go in and just check and make sure that everything is correct about my profile. Maybe I should do it more often, but at least once a year, I'm in checking, making sure that everything is okay. And then you want to update it during your recertification. And then you can download those, but I think going out and checking the websites is what I do. That's how I follow all of their regional conferences. I go out and I check what regional conference is what region has a corporate member that I want. And so then I go out and I check that regional partner website for what corporates are in it. And then I know how to connect with those corporates. The other thing is that since COVID, many of the RPOs have virtual trainings. So if the people in Montana are doing a virtual training that I really like, I can just log in and register for their training as well. So there's lots of ways to just constantly target the other regions. And then you can also do the tier 2 program, which I'm involved quite a bit. I've had the pleasure of having Macy's send me quotes for things for them, their business cards, letterheads. I was not big enough. I've had Kroger. They're not big. I'm not really big enough for them. Both of them use me as a tier 2. So they know me. And then they went to their printer and said, use Kathy as a tier 2. So we ended up getting a lot of business out of Macy's and Kroger, but not as a direct supplier. And then my favorite thing is always to do Weebies. So I like for Weebies to look like they're corporates. So I always try to do the best to make Weebies that are small look big. And then, as I said, you can do local, regional, and national inclusion events. So the Women of Color actually has a program coming up that is welcome to everyone, but it's partnered with the national program. So it should be a great event. And then doing your homework. You want to make sure you know who the supplier diversity staff is. You want to make sure that you know what their business does. So I've heard them talk about people will come up and ask Kroger what they do. So they won't even know who Kroger is. They won't know who Macy's is. So you want to make sure that you know what they offer, you know what their supplier diversity division works like. So as Catherine said, most of the time the supplier diversity person does not buy anything. It's their job to advocate for you. So you want to go out and find out what role they actually have, how are they most connected, and how does the business function, so they can help you find out when contracts are expiring. They can find out how they like to manage their vendors. So doing your homework before you get to that supplier diversity, having the questions that you need to know how to get in is super important. And then the supplier diversity staff can also help you with the culture and the values and figuring out how best to navigate. So for me, print goes in so many different directions. The supplier diversity person sometimes lets me know, is it decentralized? Is it centralized? How do they go about doing those things? Then ask lots of questions. So like I said, you have to just find out all the basics, find out if you're big enough. So like Kroger was just super nice. They were like, you're just not big enough. So let's find a different way. So I'm always asking them about how things can work, that I can get in. I can help. Macy's, I actually ended up doing a little bit of work for the HR department because I just kept asking, like, is there somebody that needs print that's a pretty quick print? Is there somebody that needs something that's pretty small? So we did work with Anthem for years, and we worked with R.R. Donnelley, which is one of the largest printers in the world. And the stuff that we did was really just too small for them. So I go out and I ask the supplier diversity person, you know, how do you buy your print? Who's buying your print? And start to learn about their buying process. And then once I find out if I can do it, I go after it. If I can't do it, then I start talking about tier twos. Go ahead, Catherine. And then, as I said, the Catch the Wave conference, it is an annual event this year. It is in August, and it's in Cincinnati, and it is hosted by WBENC ORV, and it's a great networking event. So you network with other women, you network with other corporates, and there's a Meet the Buyer where you can talk to the corporates. They have had in the past where you could just walk up with corporates and talk to the corporates. And so it was always very high energy. This year, they are doing it where we have more chances to meet with more corporates, which is going to be phenomenal. Normally, I would stand in line. We would actually have 2 or 3 people standing in line with different corporates so we could get up and make sure that we got to see corporates. This year, they're doing it where we won't have to stand in line as much. And then the business pitch breakfast is been going on for years, but now they have new things. If you do the business pitch, you get up in front of everybody at the conference. If you are in the top 3, you actually get sent to the national conference so that you can present at the national conference in front of all those corporates and all those weebies as well. And then they do have a very robust award recognition at Catch the Wave. So there's a lot of getting to know the people that are vital, because you probably all know it's more who you know, not what you know. And so there's a lot of places for you to learn who's really behind the scenes. And then, the forum. The forum is actually associated with the national, and it is focused on where women-owned businesses are going. And so it does all the strategy of where we're taking WBENC. And so you can get involved in the forum and have a presence in the national. And then from that national committee, you get to have an impact on the local committee. But there's a picture from the luncheon before COVID back at Macy's when we all got to get together. Good. And then other regional events, we have women winning contracts. We actually have all kinds of difference. Last year's the best results that we had were a Weebie to Weebie Connect. It was at Ohio Health, and they had speed networking from WBENCs to WBENCs, helping all of us grow. Then we have industry specific events. So if you're in the energy space, they will have an energy event that will teach you how you can get in. It will give you introductions into the supplier diversity officers at an energy event. And then it has corporate member supplier diversity events. So I'm always watching, like Eaton will do a supplier diversity event. And so I'll go to an Eaton event, and I know that I'm in front of the people that work at Eaton, and it's not just the supplier diversity, it's actually a whole team from Eaton. UC Health does one on the 3rd Thursday of every month for all of their construction workers. So again, when I was trying to get into construction, which I've made a pretty good inroad, but when I was trying to get into construction, I showed up at that meeting every Thursday because I knew that all the construction companies were going to be there. And so it was finding a place where the companies that I wanted to be in front of were going to be at. And so the various programs that they offer really help with that. And then the business development program. So this program saved my life. So once a year, they offer a business development program that is, I think it's 6 months long now. And they go through and do strategy work, strength, weaknesses, opportunity, growth. They do marketing strategy, financial strategy, how to be a leader strategy. And for me, I was a high school chemistry teacher, bought a business, not a good idea, wouldn't suggest it, didn't know what I was doing. And about 3 months after I bought my business, my largest customer walked out the door. And so I was in a high stress situation, and I ended up taking the business development program. And from there, just continued to take programs to learn how to manage my business, manage my staff, manage networking. And really, I was kind of a control freak, and the class allowed me to release a lot of that work. And I would say it is the best money that I've ever spent for my business and actually for myself. So highly suggest applying for that. Then we do webinars, this one. And as I said, we do the WBENC Link 2.0 webinar, which allows you to search out your diversity and your other Weebies. We also do the conference prep webinar. So if you'd like to be involved in Catch the Wave, it's a great conference prep meeting as well. We get to know who everybody is that's going to be involved in the conference. It allows you to know some people before you arrive. And then we do the onboarding webinars for people that are newly certified. So if you are one of those people that said you were newly certified and you've not done the onboarding webinar, I would suggest it. And then ways you can be involved. So they have committees that you can be involved in. We would love to have you on the programming committee. I'm the committee chair for the programming. We're always looking for Weebies that want to help us develop ideas for programming. Catherine would love to have you involved in marketing and communication. They have people that do certification. So as Catherine said, the number one goal behind the company is to certify women-owned businesses. And so they're always looking for people that will go and do site visits or review books of other companies. And then they come out with the newsletter. The only way they can know what's great about you is if you tell them. So I told Catherine a couple of weeks ago that a new corporate came on board, and the very first thing they did was search their women-owned business. They searched WBENC Leak 2.0, went and visited 2 printing companies, and then ended up doing some work with us. And then I was like, oh, and I haven't even sent you that I won print awards. And so I need to make sure that I put out my print awards. They will do everything they can to raise you up. You just have to let them know that you've got something going on. And then they're getting ready to do Catch the Wave. You can be sponsors. That's getting ready to go out, as well as being a presenter. So if you have a topic that you would like to present, they're going to do a call for presenters here in the next, I think it goes out this month. Catherine can let me know if that's not true.
That's correct.
And then always they would do in-kind donations of your services or products. I am a serial volunteer, so I'm on many committees and do many things for ORV because I just believe in their mission. Definitely the best way to do is to be active. And then awards that you can get, you get a WBENC Star. So this year it's Barb Smith. And the WBENC Star recognizes someone that is up and coming. Then we have the Trailblazer Award recipient, which is Sheila Mixon. So if you've been around long enough to know Sheila Mixon, she ran ORV for many years. She is the Trailblazer Award, so it generally recognizes someone that's raised up many women along the way. We have WBENC Forum representatives. They can announce 2 extra of those every other year, so basically 1 a year, and then you're, as I said, you're at the strategic level and the national program, and you end up getting to drive the strategy of WBENC. They do have the Tuck WBENC Executive Program. It is, the ORV Business Development Program on steroids, and they do have different tracks where you can take different classes with that. And the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program is run out of Babson College, but they actually do it locally in many states in Ohio. They do not have one in Kentucky or in West Virginia. So if you're a business in one of those two, most likely they would fly you to New York, and it is a free program. They fly you to New York and give you a 14-week training session on how to run your business. So lots of ways to grow and learn. And then the National Conference and Business Fair, as I said, it's an annual event. It just occurred. Next year, it's in June in New Orleans. You can be an exhibitor. I was talking to RPI the other day, which is another printer, because we're not competitors. We support each other. And they actually were an exhibitor this year, and they said being an exhibitor was way better than just being an attendee. So if you're going to go, you will want to look into being an exhibitor. There is over 350 exhibitors and more than 4,500 WBE's corporate and government attendees. So that's how come I said you need to be really targeted when you go to the national conference. You can be overwhelmed if you have 5,000 people that you're trying to find. And then you have national networking. So if you do business with large corporates, it's definitely the place to catch all of them in one space. And as I said, it's in June. New Orleans. It'll be fun. Let's have Mardi Gras. And then the forum is a way to expand your network. Everyone that is certified is part of the forum. And so it is a place to have WBE to WBE connections and learning opportunities, because as Catherine said, you're not just part of the RPO here locally, you're actually part of the entire national RPO. And so you'll get emails from them about all their learning opportunities, get involved in the forum, and then you get nominated for the national forum as well. Okay, now I saw Megan ask about Catch the Wave. Megan, there is information out on the website, and it's just a little snippet of a paragraph. Catherine can probably tell exact timeline, but I know this month, if not next week, they are posting everything about sponsorship, about the hotel block, about becoming a call to presenter, and something else. Catherine, can you remind me what the other thing is?
You said hotel block, you said call for presenters, and pitch.
Oh yeah, pitch and sponsorship. So all of that'll be on the website. It's not live yet, but the conference is August the 25th through the 27th, I believe.
6th to the 28th.
Oh, there you go. The 26th to the 28th at the Hilton in Cincinnati.
Yes. And I'm dropping that in the chat for everybody as well. We hope you all can join us.
Kayla, the best webinar to go to next would be WBENC Link 2.0 if you're looking to build your directory of people. So if you're trying to build your CRM, trying to find people that you want to call on, WBENC Link 2.0 is the best webinar to go to. In terms of programming, it really kind of depends on what your focus is. So WBENC Link 2.0, you probably need to attend once. So I've done that. Now I constantly am focused on what corporates are having events. So I follow a lot of corporates to see what all is being offered. And the newsletter that Catherine puts out will have a lot of those in it. So I'm always reading Catherine's email because it's got a lot of great knowledge of things that we can attend. So the programming kind of depends on what your goal is.
Yeah, that's well said. And if you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, we highly suggest that you get added to our mailing list. You can shoot me an email or drop it in the chat if you're not there, and I'll make sure you get added to our mailing list. Because as Kathy said, we're putting information in there all the time about upcoming events and opportunities for you all.
Since WBENC Link is now a 501(c), are the certification fees considered charitable donations? I believe the answer to that is no, because the Urban League was a 501(c) as well.
That's correct.
No, it's not a donation, it's actually a certification fee.
Mhm.
Other questions?
Okay, I'm seeing some people need to be added to the newsletter. Yes, I will get you all added. This is wonderful. And our newsletter is actually scheduled to go out here pretty soon. So perfect timing to get added.
Yes, and that I will say the newsletter is long. Catherine puts a lot of good information in it. So it's not going to be a newsletter that you're going to like open up and be like, hey, I got 2 minutes to read the newsletter. I always snooze it and read it on Saturday morning over my coffee or my hot chocolate because it's got so much information. I want to make sure I'm not in my busy part of my day. It's got a lot of great information.
It is, and it is long. She's right. So definitely take the time when you have it to look it over. We also send out different email blasts with like upcoming events because we don't want those to get lost in the newsletter. So we'll do a separate blast at least once a month with our upcoming events for the month. So you all can mark it on your calendars. As Kathy did mention, well, number one, Kathy, I didn't know that about your story with ORVBDP. I think that's
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah.
That that you said it saved your life. So that's
It did
awesome.
save my life.
We do have last year we did the ORV BDP program with in partnership with Victoria's Secret in Columbus. This year we actually are moving to a like a every other year format. So we won't have it this year, but definitely look for it next year. We'll probably start sending out communication about it in the fall just to get you all knowledgeable about it, interested, and so you can start your application process because it's very beneficial. And then we've got some upcoming programming, as Kathy mentioned, our Women of Color. It's going to be a 2-day event in Columbus at the, I'm blanking on the hotel name, but
I think it's a Hilton because it's where
yeah,
the
yeah,
conference was.
that's right. The Hilton downtown Columbus. So we'll be sending information about that out soon to our network. And it's open to everybody. Men, you can come too. Men are always welcome to any of our events. I know we
Absolutely.
have a couple on our call because you all are advocates for us as well. So open to everybody. The upcoming Women of Color event is going to be May 9th and 10th in Columbus. So love to have you if you're able. And then we also have our Pitch Pro Talks coming up at the end of this month. And that is a great opportunity to learn from our past pitch competition winners, as well as our judges, to hear what makes for a winning pitch if you're interested in being a part of our pitch competition. What else? We have our town hall coming up as well at the end of this month. Highly suggest you all attend that as well. That is virtual, open to everybody. You'll be able to learn about what we have on the horizon for this year. So if you can't make any event, I suggest the Women of Color. I suggest that too. But the town hall, that would be the one to attend for sure. And yes, Kayla, the Zoom recording will be sent out to everybody, so you can replay this on your own time as well.
So my last and final tip would be it's probably not possible to do it all and run your business. And so you have to decide what the focus of your business is and select where you want to be inside ORV. So don't just think the work is going to come at you. Probably the first 5 years that I was involved, all I wanted to do was learn because I was drowning in my business. And so I did a whole lot of that and never really went after business. And then after the first 5 years, and I kind of felt more secure, that was when I started going after bigger businesses and started learning my way that way. So it took me, I've been certified now 12 years, and I finally landed a contract with Fifth Third, which was on my radar probably 5 years ago, but it took me a while to get that business. And at first I would do these and I would say, I'm not even a member of WBENC to get business. Like I literally was in it to get knowledge. And if that's what you need, then they've got great knowledge. If you need networking, then they've got that, but you probably can't do it all. So select what's best for you.
Very well said, Kathy. She's absolutely right, because it can get overwhelming. And at the end of the day, you all have businesses to run. So just find your focus and lean into that. Any other questions or comments or anything that people have before we dismiss for today? Okay, I don't see anything else. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking that time out to learn more about different ways to maximize your certification. And thank you, Kathy, for facilitating today and giving some great advice on how to do that. So appreciate everyone's time.